Okay, today I will present for you some tips and methods for IT management for small businesses. I'm the manager for company Medacom that I built here in Israel, in Jerusalem, and I give IT services to companies, small companies especially, and security services for big companies. We will see today who am I, how to choose a PC, how to choose a software, one more focus on securing your PC, how to secure your PC and your environment, working environment, some points about nomadism, how to move, how to manage your moving between some places with or without your PC, your backups, modern methods to make real secure backups and restores, and some other points. Who am I? First, my name is David Schiffers. I'm 42 old. I'm Toshav Hozer. I born in France and make Aliyah where I was 4 years old, and back to France at 22, and back to Israel just a little more than 1 year ago. I'm co-founder of Medacom with my wife, and my wife is also working on properties. I learn and works in computing in French. I'm an engineer, and I'm work from 20 years in IT management, computing, project management, security. I work for big companies in France, like Orange, BNP Paribas, the biggest bank in France, and other, and little companies who deliver services to big companies. So in my professional career, I see a lot of big and middle companies in France. Okay, let's talk about computers. What's a computer? A computer is some component in a box. You have the principal component is the processor. Processor, the CPU, me'abed in Hebrew. It's the brain of the computer. He's making calculation of what you want to do. If you open a Word file, the processor is translating the bytes signals in real human understanding on your screen. With the CPU, you have the GPU. GPU is like a CPU, but is a CPU specialized in this graphic processor. It's really necessary if you make image manipulation, video, or gaming. It's or crypto money that's using GPU. It's a specialized processor. You don't need GPU if you only make administrative tasks on your PC. With the CPU, you have the RAM. RAM is a temporary memory who is working only when the computer is alive. Where the computer is down, if there is no power in the PC, the RAM is empty. Okay? So it's only necessary to give power to the CPU. But today we really need a RAM to load programs, because programs are loaded from the hard disk to the RAM, and then the processor can deal with them and run them. We talked about temporary memory, but we need memory. So if I record a video or I typing a text on a file, I want to save the file for a long term. So the file is saved on a hard disk. The hard disk there's a lot of sort of hard disk, but the true principal forms of hard disk is mechanical, magnetic, and electronical. The old hard disk, if you know them, was the big hard disk what you have in the desktop PC. It's always mechanical, magnetic. It's cheaper than electronical disk, but you have all electronical disk. It's the USB key, for example. It's electronical disk because when you put a file on your USB device, you keep it for a long time. The advantage of hard disk electronical, we'll talk about that it's very less slow. It's very efficient regarding the old HDD. And this is a material. This is what you have in the box. But to manage them, to let them operate, you have an operating system, and it depends of what you choose. But on each PC, you can choose if you want to run each operating system. So you will see just here. So for the processor, today you have three big families for Intel processor. You have also AMD processor, but I will just take about Intel processor because it's a general conference. So today you have three big families of processor: i3, i5, and i7. For each one of them, of course, i5 is bigger than i3, and i7 is the biggest processor family. You have also i9 for servers, but it's not for desktop computers or laptops for users. So for each of them, you have classification by generation. And the last generation today is the 10th generation, the very last processor sold by Intel. So when you choose a PC, you will see the price of the PC depend of the power of the processor. You will see how to choose.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Is it the same for like Apple or?
No. Apple is also with processor Intel, okay? But in Apple, your choose for the processor will depend for the whole PC, because you can choose, I want this processor and how much RAM and this. For Apple, you have the bundle. The GPU is depend if you want to make games or graphical work on your PC. The RAM, it's very necessary for if you want a lot of application in the same time or big application. If you are running, for example, Adobe Suite, you will need a lot of RAM because it's a very heavy application. So all the application is in the RAM, because if you have a small quantity of RAM, the computer will need to have a lot of connection to the hard disk to get information needed by CPU and your screen. For the hard disks, I already said you have three families of hard disk: the material and electronical. And depending what you want to do with your PC, you have to choose if you want mechanical or electronical hard disk. We'll just see. And the operating system, we have three big families: Windows, Linux, and Mac OS. Mac OS is working only on Mac computers, and Windows and Linux is working on any PC. You can choose what you want. We'll also see how to choose. Before we see what we have inside the PC, let's see the big possibility you have when you have to choose PC. If you build your own business and you have to take persons for your business, or you have to move, or you have to rent offices, etc., you will choose between desktop and laptops. Desktop have some advantage. Desktop is very modular, is very scalable. So if you want to choose the component of your PC, take cheaper component and later get more efficient component, you can do it with desktop computer. In general, we have much power in a PC because it's bigger part. The motherboard on PC, it's bigger, etc. So it's cheaper. And when you have a desktop PC, in general, you have a big screen, you have an external keyboard, and it's very more comfortable to work with a desktop PC. But all of us have laptops because we are moving a lot. So you can take the laptop in your bag. You can easily transport it to make presentation and to work anywhere. And If you want to have any autonomy to work without power or without any external support in the garden, I don't know, you can do it with the laptop. So you know that. We just take about operating system, but the operating system, as I said, is a Linux and Windows on PC and the Mac on Mac, Mac OS on Mac. So if you have to choose between PC and Mac Pro, I have make some comparison between the two possibilities. The security is very best on a Mac because there is much less virus and attacks on Mac. So on PC you have to install an antivirus and manage it. Mac OS is very most aesthetic. As you can see, there is a Mac is here and a PC here. The graphic performance on a laptop is best on a Mac. In general, the performance is best on a Mac computer because Mac, it's the marketing of Mac is the power, modern, etc. There is much autonomy, but there is some little problem with the Mac. That's the Mac is not scalable. When you buy a Mac, you can't upgrade number of RAM memory. You can change the hard disk. If you have a broken component, in general, you have to change the computer. The software compatibility, there is much more software for PC than for Mac, but there is enough for Mac. And the price, PC laptop is very cheaper than Mac computer. So let's talk about some configuration possible in Shkalim, what you can find in Israel. These two examples are very fresh examples from this week that I found on the internet. For offices, you have a CPU with 3 or i5 processor, 4 GB RAM, and one hard disk with 1 terabyte space on the hard disk. You can find it for 2,000 shekel in Israel right now. And if you want a very powerful computer for gaming or video editing, etc., you can find a very powerful computer with SSD disk. It's an electronic disk, very much efficient than HDD and physical hard disk with 16 GB RAM. It's a Dell for the second example and Asus for the first example. All of them are very good company, but Dell have a nice support for their computers in Israel. So if you have any problem with your PC, you have support, you can call them and they can repair and give support for your computers. Let's talk about brand and warranty. For laptops, obviously you have to choose a computer from a known brand, a known company, because if you have any problem, you need the support. For desktop computer, it's not so important because for each component, it's managed himself. So any computer technical can repair and manage the computer. That's not the case with laptops. Be careful to choose computer with local support. All companies don't have support in Israel. I don't know which company have or not have support in Israel, but I know that Dell and HP have a nice support in Israel. Just to know, in general, the warranty is only for material, not for softwares. So if computer is working and you have a problem, you lost your presentation, your file, your work, nobody will help you. Yeah, it's your own responsibility. So just take about it. Just to know, you have possibility to get insurance for your computer for more insurance than the computer warranty, or for a largest period. In general, computer warranty, it's for 1 or 3 years. If you want more, you can buy it. What you have on your PC? You have the box and connectors, in devices and out devices. today you have some type of connectors like your PC and your mobile phone. You have USB-C, some types of USB-C, USB-C-A, USB-C-B, USB-C-C for modern computers and modern telephones. And you have display interface. The two big type of display interface is VGA, this one, and HDMI, this one. For some types of computers, you can have a micro HDMI, etc. And for Mac computer, you have the Thunderbolt connectors. And for the Thunderbolt connector, you have a lot of adapters for Thunderbolt to HDMI, to VGA, to USB, etc. Okay, now we have a computer. We know how to manage it in the hardware side, and let's see what about the software side. Software, you have some possibility how to use softwares. When you want to make something with your PC, you want to draw something, you want to write something, you can download software, Office, for example, Microsoft Office, or you can do it online. If you want to make it locally on your PC, you can install the software, like in Office, and you can just keep a software without any install. For example, you can take Notepad++. It's a software for writing code, etc. There is a portable version. Portable versions that mean the executable, you put the executable on the computer and you don't install anything. So if you want to remove it, just delete the file and you have not the software on your computer. But if you install the computer, you deal with the operating system. So the operating system, if you want to uninstall, you have to go behind the operating system and tell him to uninstall the software. The SAS, it's another mode of software use, and all of us use SAS. For example, for your email, or for seeing any internet site, for using Google Maps on your computer. You don't install anything on your computer. You just connect to the internet and see what you have. That's the SAS, software as a service. And today you can do anything with SAS solution. For example, you have Google Suite with a lot of softwares, and you don't need to install anything. You just add on your Gmail account the possibility. You pay for that, for Google Suite, and you have all the software like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, etc. And it's all on the internet. You have nothing on your PC. And of course, you can download what you work on your PC and save it locally. But when you work, it's anything on the internet. It's a time to talk about cloud. Everything talking about cloud today, but cloud it's a term designed something. It's something not material, floating in the air. Cloud it's not this at all. Cloud it's servers anywhere in the world, in a data center, and when you do something on the cloud, you do something on a server. So what the name is cloud, because you don't know what server you are working with. That's all. But everything, when you're working on the cloud, you're working on a server. Okay? For the license, when you use a computer, you have some type of licenses. You can use open source licensing. For example, you have OpenOffice. OpenOffice is something like Office, Microsoft Office, but it's open source. So you can get the source and modify them and build your own software with OpenOffice or any other software writing in the open source license. You have freeware. It's the code of the software. It's in the property. You can't get him, but the use of the application, it's free. So you can download it without paying anything and use it freely. And your shower is yes, it's a software that you can use freely, but for a short period or for some functionality. And you have, if you want more, you can buy the whole software. For example, you have this for antivirus. I have on my computer, I have an antivirus AVG. It's free, but if you want to get internet protection or disk analysis or cleaning your computer, etc., this is options, and you have to pay for that. This is the magic quadrant of Gartner. When you want to choose a software, a serious software for your company, you can ask for the editor for the magic quadrant of Gartner. Each year, Gartner is a company that's not any computer, any software for for all type of service offered by the software. For example, this is the Gartner for antivirus. Okay, here you have the newest company starting. Here is the challengers, in the innovator, and here's their leader. So all companies in this case, in this part of quadrant, the magic quadrant, are very the leader of this type of software. As you can see here, what's the position of this company, of this software in the world of the solution you are looking for.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Are these like open source freeware? Are they safe to use?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, but of course you have to see if there's serious software, and we will see how to see what is serious and what is dangerous. Yes. In Gartner Magic Quadrant, you have notation for software, for a type of software for each company. So, for example, this is the Gartner Magic Quadrant Gartner for antivirus, and you can see here Microsoft, Symantec, Trend Micro, the big companies for antivirus, for PC antivirus. And you can see here Kaspersky, it's a challenger. So today Kaspersky is not on the same level of Microsoft, but is aspiring to. So if you have to choose between Microsoft and Kaspersky for antivirus, you can see what Gartner say about them.
So I would
Okay.
say that Gartner puts out they're a global consulting research firm, and Gartner puts out magic quadrants for probably hundreds of them. So you look for the type of software you're looking for, and you find the magic quadrant for that. Gartner is known for that. They know how to position them and to tell you which are the leaders in the market. So and that's pretty free. You don't have to buy the report. Usually you Google and you'll find it.
Thank you. I recommend you to use as much as possible SaaS software. Why? Because SaaS software is accessible from anyone. Where you want, you just need to have internet access and it's working. It's flexible rate. Even if you pay for that, you pay just for what you use. So you don't pay to have the computer, the software on your computer. You pay for the usage. It's secured because it's always up to date and it's technically stable. So if there is any problem on the software, on the SaaS software, the company will immediately repair it and see and make it working for you. Yes.
You said one of the pros is it's secured.
Yes.
But are you comparing software as a service to an installed application?
Yes.
So software as a service is more secure
Yes.
than an installed application?
Yes. Because when you're using software, SaaS software, you don't have to patch. And if there is any problem, security problem, they will be very rapid, very instantly repaired and patched than on your PC. Because on your PC, you are not sure that you get the information that there is a breach on the software and you have a risk on your software. But they know. There is their work.
And is there any difference between the freeware or open source when you're talking about the comparison with
No.
SaaS? Same thing?
No. It's depending of the type of software. If there's a lot of developers on a freeware, on an open source software, there will every time new updates and new patch, and the community will be very reactive, and sometimes not. There is another type of software who calling them abandonware. It's old software that nobody develops them no more, and it's freely accessible from the web, but it's old softwares. The name is abandonware. So the license is for no one. So you can do it. You can do it with it what you want. But there are some cons for the SaaS software. You always require internet access to work on that. If you are on the flight, you can't work on SaaS software, and you don't control what they are doing with your personal data. So what you put on Facebook, Google, etc., it's not your property. It's a property of Facebook.
But some of those,
So at your own risk.
Some of those things, like if you're on a plane and you have SaaS, let's say you have Google Docs, you can access Google Docs offline as well, right?
Yes.
So then you could use other things.
It's depend.
Yeah.
You have, yeah.
How
Can you actually use it? Did you download it?
Yeah.
You can download, but when you work, you're working online,
Yeah.
and you can download. It's a copy. You don't.
Did you work on it? It doesn't
No.
say.
No, because you don't have software on your laptop to run it.
Because there's no Wi-Fi.
You just take the software, the file, but the software, the program is at Google, so you have to upload your file for working on them. Okay, let's talk about security. What's the risk? You have two big type of risk. You have the risk that someone take control of your PC, and the second risk in someone steal your informations. What's the method for taking your PC or your information? Two big possibilities: the phishing or scam. It's someone who is telling you he is Microsoft, but he is a private feature or a scam. It's the same. Or a virus, it's something you downloaded and run on your PC, and it's a malicious program who is taking control of your PC. What's the tools? For phishing, it's generally in much case it's emails and web page wrong or malicious web page and social accounts. Somebody contact you on Facebook. Hi, I'm hiring for this company. Please give you your card Visa number. And the virus is always a downloaded file. Okay. So what you have to do on your PC to secure your PC? It's some behavior you have to adapt. It's very simple, but it's very important to do that, and much more people don't not do that. Firstly, rename all the default accounts on your PC. The first time a pirate try to do when you get access on your PC, it's to run the administrator or root account with the default password. Okay? So what you have to do is rename the default users, all default users.
But what users? In like programs?
No,
PC?
Users of PC. On your PC you have a user. When you open the computer you have.
Yes.
If you don't have a user, create one. And you will see there is one administrator in general for each for any PC. For Windows and for Linux, it's a root user. It's a default user. It's the big administrator, and he can do anything.
And when you say rename, like, what do you mean? Once or every 6 months or like?
No, one time. Don't name is on the factory.
Right, okay.
It's if the name is administrator, name is Toto. Create an account for each user, especially on professional world. When each person at work make what he has supposed to do, and sometimes people make something that is not supposed to do. But if he make what he do with his own user, so you can see what he do. Anything is logged, and after that, if you have any conflict, any problem, you take the PC and you will see what he do. So it's very important to have an account for each person, for each user.
That's on PC, no? Like on laptop, it's mainly your.
If you have a child and you have to secure his use of the computer, you have to create an account for your child and limit him. Set a strong password. On your computer, set a strong password. What's a strong password? It's longer than a minimum 8 characters, and put some capital and special character. Lock the session. When you leave your PC, you are going to another room, etc. Just lock the PC. If you have your own Wi-Fi at home, at office, etc., hide your SSID. SSID, it's what everyone see on the air around your Wi-Fi. If you activate your Wi-Fi right here on your phone or on your PC, you will see all the Wi-Fi around you. But if you have hidden the SSID, no one will see it.
How do you do that?
On the box, on the Wi-Fi box, you have in general you have just the radio button You have just to check the button, hide my SSID, and it will be hidden.
On the Wi-Fi itself?
On the router,
Yes,
on the router.
on the Wi-Fi itself. Yes, on basic or hot on your box. You connect to your box. You on the documentation you have as a method to connect to your box. By the way, change admin password for your box. It's very, very important. And rename it if you can. And hide your SSID. It's an important
So if it's
function.
hidden and someone needs to come to log in,
Just
we
tell
have to
him what's the
give
name.
them that number. They actually say, this is the one, there's no, it's not in the list that's presented, sign into this one and I'll
Yes.
give them the information.
Yes.
If you have a password for your Wi-Fi, why do you have to hide it?
Sorry, I don't
If
understand.
you have a password to log into the Wi-Fi, then why do you have to hide it?
Because if no one see your Wi-Fi, no one will try to block your password. Okay? You have no protection against brute force password, for example. Okay? So if someone can try to brute force your password with a dictionary with 10 billion type of passwords, it will put down your Wi-Fi, etc. So make it hidden and nobody will touch him. What about software protection? We talked about virus, phishing, etc. The first thing you have to do on Windows is to install an antivirus. You have an antivirus integrated with Windows. You can install a free antivirus, no matter. But install one antivirus. Enable the local firewall. On each PC, you have a firewall. Firewall is a software that blocking the network access to and from your computer. So if you enable it, nobody will be able to connect from the network to your computer. Okay? Let it at default configuration, but enable it. By default, on the Windows, it's activated, it's enabled. When you download something, you take a risk. If you download something from your email, from internet, etc. So how to be sure that what you download is what you expect to download? The first and the only thing you have to check is what's the domain name of where you are taking from this object. On the mail, on the internet, I have some example on my computer, but presentation is not on my computer. You will see I have an email from Amazon. It's branded as Amazon. The name of the email is contact service at Amazon, and there is just a link. Click here. You will see on the real address, email address, 123 strudel Amazon.com. If it's not Amazon.com, if it's strudel 123.com, it's a fake and it's dangerous. The same thing on the link. When you just pass over your mouse on the link, you will see behind the mouse what's the URL, the address, the internet address of what you are going to, what page you are going to visit. See on the domain, what's the, on the first character of the domain is something.google.com, something.google.co.il, etc. See if what you expect to visit is what you see on the domain name. Okay? Nobody can use the domain amazon.com without the authorization of Amazon. So if you are on the domain amazon.com, as you are safe. And if you go to another domain, even if it is branded as Amazon, you are not safe. And just take care. Sometimes you can have some what we calling domain squatting. You can have Microsoft with a 1 in the place of I. Microsoft with I. And it's very like, this website is very like an official Microsoft site, but it's not Microsoft. Okay, it's a domain squatting and it's pirate. This is very, very important. It's the first thing you have to think, you have to check when you download something or you are communicating on the internet. You can use internet filter, especially if you have a child or a company with salaries, etc. You can have an internet filter to filter what you want to see and you have to authorize. And for email, we already talked about the download. It's the same rule. Every time, look on the domain. A word about your battery on your computer and on your phone. Some little rules to observe. Lithium-ion battery is what you have everyone on our PC, etc. It's built on a number of charge cycles. Each time you put it on the power, you start a charge cycle. There's a limited number of charge cycles. So when you start a charge, the best way to charge is from 20% to 100% in one time. For example, at night. You're going to sleep, you branch, you put it on power, and you are waiting for the 100%. Never go below 5%. Battery is protected by an integrated component on the battery himself, but don't go behind 5%. It will damage your battery. Avoid unnecessary load because every time you put it on the power, you use a cycle. If you are not using the battery for a long time, for example, on a camera, you are using the camera and you put it on the box and used 1 month later. Be careful to charge it to 100% because if it completely uncharged, probably will not charge at all. It can dead if it's completely unloaded. And for the temperature of this type of batteries between 0 and 45 degrees. So be careful to not put them on the sun, etc. Yes. Okay. Nomadism. If you are working with your PC, two type of nomadism. If you're working with a company over the internet, you are probably using a VPN. VPN, it's a tunnel from your PC to the company, and from the company you are going to the internet. So firstly, you are building a tunnel to the company, a protected tunnel, and then you are using the company resource to go to the internet. So everything you are doing on the internet is from the internet, from the company resource. And a proxy server, it's only for internet access. It's a server you're connected to make a request on the internet. In each company, there is proxy server allowing all company people to connect to the internet from one point. Every people connected to the proxy and from the proxy to the internet. And all the rules of what is authorized and not, it's managed on the proxy server. What about backup and restore? For the backup and restore, you have two simple things to do. First, if you can buy a NAS. NAS, it's a box with hard disk inside, and you can configure any internet cloud client like Google or OneDrive of Microsoft or Mega.nz or any other, and all your file, backup them on the internet behind this component. You have 15 giga free for each Gmail account, and you can use it as you want. So make this backup. It's very free, it's very easy, and you can then use all what you backup on your Google account, on your Hotmail account, from anywhere in the internet. And some more tips. If you have any problem on your PC, you can manage what is running on your PC by the task manager. If you type Control, Shift, and Escape on your computer in the same time, you will see the process manager. You can stop it, each processor, see what is running and what is consumer resource. For multi-language, if you have some Hebrew and English on your computer, you can switch between language with with the keyboard. It's left Alt and Shift. You type them together and you will shift. Yes, it's space. Yes. On Office, or other software on the internet, you will see something like this icon to writing from right to left or left to right, RTL or RTL or LRT. And to finish, if you want to switch rapidly from application, just type Windows tabulation Windows tab. You will see all the program on your computer. You will not have to use your mouse.
Thank you.
Thank you. If you have any question, you can ask me right now or after that, as you want.
Thank you.
Thank you for your attention.
Do you have